Hey there, I'm back, and today is day 46 of the 100 Days Python Programming Challenge. And today I will be showing you how to do shallow and deep copy. Have you ever wondered what copy is in Python? Today you're in luck because today we'll be talking about shallow and deep copy in Python. Let's begin. Hi everyone, and welcome to day 46 of the 100 Days Programming Challenge. As I said, the topic is shallow versus deep copy. This is very important in Python because common copying object is a very common task, but it can be tricky dealing with complex objects like lists and dictionaries that contains other objects. So today we will be talking about shallow and deep copying. As usual, the Jupyter notebook will be available in my GitHub. And in the notebook, I explained what copy is, that you're trying to create a duplicate of an object. But in Python, we have mutable and immutable objects. Mutable objects are objects that are changeable, while immutable are unchangeable. And mutable are your list, your dictionary, and your set, while immutable are your integers, your strings, and your tuples. So this is essential when you're trying to use copy because you have to decide, are you trying to return a new object or are you trying to change the object after creation? So that is what we're going to talk about: shallow copy and deep copy, how you can use them, where you can use them, and the differences between the both of them. So first, start with shallow copy. Shallow copy is when you want to create a new object. It doesn't create copies of the object within the original object. So you are creating a reference to that object. So the element, imagine we have a list, and again, lists are mutable objects, they are changing objects. So you want to create a shallow copy of that list. You are creating a new object of the list. So anytime you make modification to it, the copy would affect the original. So shallow copy, you're creating new object. It doesn't create copies of the object within the original object, and the elements themselves are not duplicated, and modification would affect their original. Let me show you with an example so you would really get it. So first I have my original list. So I have two lists inside my original list, and I would like to create a shallow copy of the list. So let's have shallow, and this is how I would create my shallow copy list. We imported copy, so you use copy.copy function from the Python copy module would help you create your shallow copy. So I want to create a shallow copy of my original list. And then if I print out my original list and my shallow copy list, they would be the same. It should have copied it. So let's print it out. So see, this is my original list and this is the copy that we made. Now let's talk about the modification, that if I want to modify an element in my shallow copy, it would affect the element in my original copy. So you have to know that if you create copies like this and you change your new list, your new copy, it will affect your original copy. So let's say I want to change this one to 10. And again, list a mutable object. So I want to modify the index 0. So I want to do 0, 0. So that is, it takes this is 0. This first list is at index 0 and the second list is at index 1. And I want to modify 1. So this is index 0 and inside the list it is also index 0. So we have shallow copied list 0, 0, and I want to change it to 10. So then if I change this to 10, it should modify the original list and the shallowed copy list. So this is how I want to print it out after modification. And if I run this, we see that both our original list and our shallowed copy list was modified. So as you can see, we modified the nested element of our shallowed copied list,
and it also modified the original list. This happens because shallow copy only copied the reference to the nested list and not the nested list themselves. So anytime you're using shallow copy and you make modifications, you should know that your original list would also be affected. Next, we move to deep copy. A deep copy creates a new object. So deep copy will kind of like be like the opposite, because here we're able to, if we make modification, both the original list and the copied list get changed. But here with deep, if we make changes to our copied list, then only the copied list will be affected. So it's just kind of like the opposite. So a deep copy creates a new object and recursively copies all the objects contained in the original object. So it means modification doesn't affect the original object. So here for shallow copy, we use copy.copy. For deep copy, we use copy.deepcopy. So let's have our list. So original list 2. So I want to deep copy original list 2. And then if I print out my, so now I have my original list 2 and my deep copied list 2. So it will create copies of it. So we have our original list and we have our deep copied list. But then if I want to make the same modification that I made earlier, so I want to change 1 to 10, or you can make modification depending on what you want. It doesn't have to be the first index, or I'm just using this as an example. So I'm making modification. I'm changing the 1, I'm changing it to 10 like we did earlier. And then when I would print out my original list 2 and my deep copied list, we'll see that our original list 2 will stay the same while our deep copied list 2 would be affected. So see, after modification, our original list stays the same. So in this example, even after modifying the nested element in deep copy, the original list remains unchanged. That's because deep copy creates a completely new copy of the non-nested object. So see the difference, that the shallow copy creates a new object, but then the nested objects are shared between the original and the copy. So even though it creates a new object, it is still shared between both the original and the copy. Why deep copy just creates a new object with new copies of all the nested objects. So modifying this in deep copy doesn't affect the original object, while in shallow copy, it affects the original object. I know that shallow is faster because it copies reference, while this is slower because it's creating a new copy of every nested object. So you use, these are cases where you want to use it when you want to completely isolate, like you want to make copies, but you want your original list to stay the same. You don't want it to be affected in any way. Then that is when you use deep copy. But when you don't need the modify the nested object, then you use shallow copy. So then I'm like, so let's look at more examples of like shallow copies with dictionaries or deep copies with dictionaries, so you can also see it and work. So I have my original dictionary. This is my dictionary. This is my key, and this is my values. So I want to do a shallow copy of this. So okay, so I want to print out my original dictionary and my shallow copy dictionary. So you see we have it here. And then if I then modify my shallow copy, so see the original, everything is the same, everything looks good. And then when I modify it, I'm changing the 1 in A, I'm changing it to 10. And when I run this, we see that it changes to 10. So this is shallow copy. Both the copy and the original gets changed. And then for deep copy, if I do that with deep copy, then only the copied element would change. So see, this is my original dict like we used earlier. I remember shallow copy is copy.copy, and then deep copy is copy.deepcopy. And then I want to change the 1 to 10. And when I run this, you'll see that only the deep copy dictionary gets changed to 10, and this original dictionary stays the same. So this is when you want to use shallow copy when you just want to copy the outer structure, and deep copy when you need a completely independent copy of an object and you don't want your copy to affect the original object in any way. So these are three practice questions for you to try out. Try it out. Let me know if you have questions. The other time I got a comment about the codes not being so clear to see. So today it is zoomed out. Let me know if you can see it clearly, and let me know, is the audio good now? I got a new microphone. So let me know, is the audio good now? Are you able to access the notebook from GitHub? Let me know. Ask me questions and I'll answer them as soon as I can. So that's it for this video. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much for watching that video. I hope you were able to learn something from it. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And don't forget to also try the practice questions that are in the Jupyter notebook and put your solutions in the comment section. Let's build a community together. As always, the link to that notebook is in the description below. And I'll see you tomorrow.